can't believe it. Football, bloody hell.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and you're very welcome to the MAG 24/7 Red Sunday Session podcast. And I am your host, Killian, and I have my co-host here, Benno. How are you doing, pal?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. How about yourself?
All good after that game, bro. And we have Massey, Masood, and Jono on our panel. How are we, boys?
Good, boys.
Evening, guys.
How are you? Great result.
Buzzing after that game. Benno, do you want to kick off things with the old agenda? I think Benno has a special guest there, Ralphie.
Yeah. I got the boys with me tonight. I got the boys up here. They wanted to get involved. So tonight one, it's not going to probably be as long as usual. But the kind of agenda that we're looking for, as always, we're going to just kind of touch a little bit upon the podcast we did in the week about the Munich Tribute, and obviously just thank everyone for their support and what it gained for us. We're going to obviously look at the Villa game today, do the usual, go around the table and see where we go. We are going to look at Kobbie Mainoo. There's been a lot of talk in the week about should he play for England or anything like that. We're going to cover that one. We're going to talk a little bit about, we've seen some of the stuff going on with regards a potential renovation or a potential new stadium. So we're going to have some interesting views on this, I think, and maybe a difference of opinion. So we're going to obviously get that as well. And obviously, again, we're going to look ahead to obviously February's fixtures that we've got. And then as well, I thought something we could have a little bit of a rant over as well. We're going to look at the blue card proposal as well. So stay with us, guys. And yeah, like I say, get involved in the comments as we go. And yeah, let's kick it off. So, Killian.
Yeah, so boys, fucking great result, eh? Great result. Never in doubt.
Yeah.
Benno, do you hear that?
Yeah, big time. I mean, before we get into that, obviously, point one on the agenda was just a big thank you from me and everybody that watched the Munich Tribute midweek. Sorry, my dogs are play fighting. Big thanks to everybody that tuned in and watched. A lot of emotion and a lot of effort went into that. So yeah, everyone that tuned in and watched it, it's really, really appreciated. It meant a lot to every single one of us. And obviously a big shout out to Phil and Dazza, who unfortunately couldn't be on the podcast tonight, but the efforts they put in to effectively run the Munich Tribute week. All love, absolutely amazing work. So yeah, we're gonna go into obviously today's stuff. So Killian, kick us off.
Yeah, apologies, forgot about that. Yeah, Daz and Philo, they're on the hop tonight, wankers. But yeah, let's kick things off. Villa 2-1 win, boys. Couldn't ask for much more than that, to be fair. Yeah, great win. I honestly thought we were going to win that night. I didn't have any doubts at all. We were in the group chat. There were a few nerves there between Philo and Benno and the boys, but myself and Dazza were holding the belief and never say die. But that's the thing with United. No, it's just in us. It's in our club. We always do it towards the end. We never do it the easy way. And I wouldn't have it any other way, because this is what football is all about. The fucking twists and turns, the roller coaster of emotions, and the fucking buzz now. We're buzzing. So it's all worth it. It's all worth going through that torture. But will we do a little whip around of what you reckon, Benno?
Yeah, we're going to go around. We're going to get everyone's thoughts on it. We'll start just the overall kind of performance. And Jono, kick us off, mate.
Start with, I just want to put praise on Onana. He's had it hard, and it's probably his best game he's had for us. Hopefully he starts pulling up that performances that we know he can do from both Ajax and Inter last year in the Champions League. And he was class tonight. He made some really good saves against a really good Villa team. They've got a really...
Can I just say, and we were watching that game, I don't know, did anyone hear Gary Neville saying for the Ollie Watkins shot when he was 4 yards out. He said he actually didn't give Onana any fucking credit. No, it really fucking annoyed me because you can see him moving his body to the right hand side, and when it hits his chest, so it was a great reactionary save. Just wanted to put that in there. Sorry, John. Fire ahead.
Yes, that's cool. 100% agree. It was a good game against a good team. They got a really good record with Emery, especially at Villa Park. I mentioned before that I did actually call him as my outsider for top 4 this season. So they've been really good, and we got the result. There was some scary times there, but we got the result. Another goal for Højlund. 5 consecutive games now he scored since he scored that first in the league.
Did you hear that he's in a special club now with Nicholas Anelka? Not bad company.
Youngest player to score 5 consecutive goals. Can you fucking hear me now? No doubts.
Dazza here with man of the match for him. 100% agree. And good old boy Shake is in the chat as well.
Ew!
Long time no see.
Bloody hell. Jesus. Who let him out? Who let him out?
All love, Sheik. Great to see you. All love and respect. We miss you, bro. We hope you're well.
Masood, tell me about the game, mate. I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Just like the last few games, we've started off brilliantly in the last few games. We did it again today. We got the early goal this time as well. But one of the things of the season is like we allow teams to come back at us a lot when we don't take our chances. But I was quite happy after we conceded the equalizers that we went for it again and we did get the winner. And for me, there were 2 outstanding performances over and above one another. One was Diego Dalot and the other one was Harry Maguire. They were absolute class. I mean, Dalot put in 2 amazing crosses today. One Højlund didn't get a head on it, and the second one was for McTominay's goal. Look, I'm not his biggest fan, and I don't think I ever will be. But he did a good job today, and he wasn't found anyone defensively as well. He pulled out another couple of good blocks in it as well during the game as well. So, quite surprisingly, he was one of my better players for the game, and Maguire was just immense today, man. He was brilliant. And the attack is looking quite good. I mean, Rashford also had one or two good opportunities to break lines and stuff. So it's all coming together slowly. I'm actually happy that we didn't win games comfortably, like Kilo said earlier, was where United do make things difficult for themselves. It's just the United way of doing things. We do things the difficult way. But the most important thing for me today was the result. Villa don't lose a lot of games at home, and we don't win a lot of games away from home against the big teams. So the result was important, and this will give the guys confidence. So going forward, also throughout the season, we got now basically 1 game a week. So now we got the rest of the week to get the niggles out of the way and sort of build up to the next game, and that's what's going to happen every game, every week going forward to the end of the season. So. A lot of teams are basically not scared, but they're gonna start looking over their shoulders at United because the momentum is building in terms of results and confidence. So hopefully we can keep it going for the rest of the month as well.
I think it's positive on that. So like we've had our injury problems this year, but we're starting to come out of it where other teams are still in that injury crisis. But I think will help us.
Fucking slipping back in there, man. People starting to drop like flies again, bro. I think I'll go now. Result, brilliant. We've got a decent record at Villa Park as well, to be fair. And we were talking about this earlier as well, where Sky have now invented a top 9. The top 9. Now we know full well that United's away record against the big boys, shall we say, has been shit the past 18 months or so. But it's a win, and I've said for a while, in sport, losing can become a habit, and winning can become a habit as well. And we're starting to just show a little bit to get us over the line. Now, was I feeling quite pessimistic throughout the game? Yes, I was, if I'm being honest with you. what really concerns me is up until about the 83rd minute, we'd had 2 shots on goal, and that is still for me. I know things are starting to click a little bit going forward, and we're looking a bit more dangerous. But the amount of actual goal scoring chances that we're making, I said back in December when we were talking about where do we think we'll finish come the end of the season, and one of the big things I brought up was I don't feel like we're going to score enough goals. Now, if you get the 3 points, you get the 3 points. I'll take 14 1-0 wins for the rest of the season. Tonight, yeah, like I say, it was at times we looked comfortable, at times we looked very vulnerable, and you thought this is going to be the same old United again. Onana, for me, yeah, it was one of his better games that he had, but you'd probably argue that all the saves he made, a keeper should be making them. But he just looked a bit more confident in what he was doing, to be fair, which I think oozed into the back four a little bit. Luke Shaw, we saw how much of a big miss he was going off in the second half, the balance of that back line. I'm actually I agree with Masood with regards to Diego Dalot tonight. I think what we're starting to see with Dalot now is his positional awareness is starting to come on a little bit, and he just seems to find himself in the right positions, making some key blocks. He won last week against West Ham, and he's looking more of a threat going forwards as well. So hats off there, but for me, the standout players have got to be, I thought Rasmus Højlund, again, brilliant up front. The boy just seems to look fitter and stronger every single week. But Harry Maguire, man. Harry Maguire, you know.
Harry Maguire.
You have to give hats off to him. You know, he's getting himself involved. He's come back from an injury. He looks fit, he looks strong, and I know he's not everyone's cup of tea or whatever like that, but he's doing a job for us. And right now, you have to say fair play to him. And then one final thing I do just want to kind of finish on with that is obviously McTominay when he come on and scored the goal. Roy Keane said after the game, I don't know if any of you heard this, but Roy Keane said at the end of the game that he might not be happy that he's a squad player right now, but when you come on, you make an impact. You don't whinge, you don't sulk. You pull your socks up, you go on the pitch, and you make an impact. And I have to give credit to McTominay as well. He's done it a few times. He did it against Wolves the other week. He's done it tonight. He's scored some big goals for us this year.
More than a few times.
Yeah, and again, a bit like Maguire, he's not everyone's cup of tea. I get that, but he's a bit of a grafter, and I think you need people like that in your squad. And you know, if he's going to come on and have impacts like that, if he's happy to do that, then yeah. Why not? But sorry, that's enough for me on today's. Killian finishes off, mate.
Jeez, you were challenging me for the amount of shit I fucking talk, bro. No, here, listen.
It's contagious.
I thought it was a great performance. I really did. Some of the football we played, the fluidity of it was fucking bash. Honestly, I thought some of the flicks, one-touch play, at times we looked fucking beautiful, bro. Yeah, we're not scoring enough, but at the end of the day, we have the 3 points in the bag. It is what it is. Can I just say, though, Raza, Garnacho, and Kobbie, absolute fucking magic. Magic. Raza, everything you want in a striker. Making his runs, getting into the box, he looked like that goal that he scored reminded me of Chicharito. He was right in the 6-yard area, fox in the box type goal. Perfect. Big shout out to Harry Maguire. Fucking brilliant again today. Colossal. Set up with the header. I don't know what Villa were thinking putting Kamara on him for corners, bro, but it worked.
It was Ramsey at first, wasn't it? I think.
Was it? Yeah. Well,
I think it was Ramsey.
Right. Regardless, they couldn't fucking deal with him. But no, what I'll say about Raza, Garnacho, and Kobbie, the rest of the team need to look at those 3 players right now and try and equal their output, because at the moment, those 3 players who are, bear in mind, 21, 19, and 18 years respectively, they've raised the fucking bar. And the rest of the team need to look at that now. Because they're actually leading our team. They're leading our fucking team, and these are 3 young kids. So
I've got a point.
I'm just so proud. I'm so proud of them, bro. So proud of them.
And what you're saying there as well, I've got a point to add on that as well. Like, we've all praised Kane in the past for being able to go back into midfield and get the ball, and Højlund's starting to get that on his game as well. That he won't wait for that chance. He'll go. And the Kane's always been brilliant at it, but you can see Højlund's learning that now as well, which is amazing.
But you can see their take everything the manager is telling them. I.e., work rate, track back when you need to track back, go forward when you need to go forward. They have the footballing IQ to implement this manager's fucking direction. I saw Raza running back. The irony of that misplaced name. When he ran back and won the ball, he was right in the middle of his own half. Raza sprinted back behind the player, won the ball. I saw it obviously with Kobbie. It's every day. That's just the way it is for Kobbie because he's a CDM or whatever you want to call it, box to box. And you also saw Garnacho's defensive input as well as their attacking, bro. They just don't stop. And this is what we need 11 of our players to be doing, or 10 of our players to be doing, because their work rate above anything else is just top. But Delo, I must say, I have to disagree with you lads. But with that said, he got the assist and all the rest. Am I convinced on Delo and all the rest? No, he's not the man for me. He will never be the player for me. I would sell him in the summer, but that's just my opinion. Delighted what he's doing for the team, and if he can keep doing that, marvelous. And I hope he proves me wrong. But yeah, for me, Delo he's not for me.
It's funny that Phil's literally just put that in the comments there, because something I did want to add before we go on. So I'm gonna bring up two people here I want to talk about, and I only want to spend 20-30 seconds each person talking about it. Knowing me, I'll probably go on a bit longer. Anthony, I'll go first. I'll kick it off and I'll move on. I'm struggling to see him getting back in this United team. I really am, and I don't think he's going to be happy sitting on the bench either. So what I want everybody to do, I've said my little piece, is a short bit, and then you're going to say keep or sell to finish. Okay, Jono.
So I don't think he's good enough. We haven't seen that out. But he doesn't offer what Garnacho offers. I can't see it. I know Chase is probably crying at the moment, but I can't see it. Sorry, Chase. Sell to Saudi.
Fuck him. He's not here. He's not here.
Get that Saudi dollar.
Masood, what's your thoughts on Anthony, mate?
Look, it's difficult with him. He came, with a reputation. He hasn't performed with United, and for me, it's an easy sell.
Killian?
Keep.
Okay. Anything to say with it, or you just want to go with that?
Yeah, listen, the way I see it, there's always a scapegoat. Always a fucking scapegoat with United fans. Always. There has to always be one. No, give him another season. Give him another fucking season. Here, listen. You know where my what I'm like with Rashford and comments towards Rashford and all the rest. How many seasons has Eve been given? If he was Mank, born and bred, how many fucking seasons would Anthony get? There'd be a different perspective on it. So, first season, very good. Second season, very disrupted because of many issues on and off the field. The knock-on effect from him getting dropped from Brazil and United was that he was way behind fitness-wise, match fitness. And then he missed loads of games. Didn't really happen for him when he came back in. And we are where we're at. Just give him another fucking season. Come on. Like,
yeah.
It depends, though. What I will say, Benno, it will depend on who comes in / who might be coming back, etc., etc. We won't go into that for obvious fucking reasons. But at the moment, I want to give him one more season. Ten Hag went all out to get him because he knows what that boy can produce. He knows more than anyone. He was an Eric Ten Hag signing. At the moment, it's a flop. But I would plead with United fans not to berate him all the time, because it's not nice to hear and it's not nice to see. We're seeing all over the internet, get rid of Anthony, blah, blah, blah. There's always one. Before it was Harry Maguire, before it was someone else. Just stop berating the players. Let's see how he gets on. I would personally give him another season. That's just me. Benno, go for it.
Yeah, I think so. I realised they didn't actually say keep or sell, to be honest with you. I think if he's prepared to effectively be a squad player, which I think he's becoming now, then, is there a player there? Yes, there is. If I think it's one of those, if somebody comes in the summer and goes, we'll give you 50 million, send him off to Inter Milan or something like that, I think maybe you shake hands and do a deal. Purely out of a thing where sometimes you get these players, they're not good enough to be your number one player in that position, but they're probably too good to sit on the bench kind of things. I don't know. But for me, he's just, when he is coming on, he's just not having an impact. And I think it says a lot when you're going away to games like today. You're chucking Bruno out on the right-hand side, you're putting McTominay through the middle instead of putting a €100 million winger on. So yeah, we'll see with that one. But let's talk about on a more positive note. Now, I'm one of these that say I never like to build up young lads too much when it comes to Man United, because I think it's so easy to pile pressure on. But there's been a lot of talk in the week about Kobbie Mainoo and possibly being selected for England. I want to get your thoughts on it, whether you think it's something that should be. Has he shown enough? Is he doing enough? Is it going to be more detrimental to his career? Do you send him as like they've done it with in previous years gone by, where they've sent a teenager along just to be in the squad for experience? Killian, I can see you've got your hands up. Give me your thoughts, mate.
Number one, I think they will try and draft him into the team so he cannot play for Ghana, which I think is absolutely fucking disgusting, by the way. Just putting that out there. Do I want to see him play for a Southgate side? No, I fucking don't. I don't want all that pressure on him. I just don't want that for him right now. It's too early. The boy is working fucking mad. Today he was absolute fucking gold dust again. Magic. But let him do his thing. Let him play for a while. Let him enjoy his football. And yeah, if they're struggling and they have a couple of injuries, stick him on the plane in the summer and let him have that experience of being with the squad and all the rest. No pressure, no nothing. But with everything I've just said, the guy is so good, bro. He's so good. So I wouldn't be surprised if he got called up. Do I want him to get called up? My answer is no. Not yet. No.
Yeah.
I don't want that pressure on the shoulder.
Oh. Yeah, no.
I don't want him. I don't want him anywhere near Southgate's team. Absolutely not. I want him to rest and come back fresh for next season. So he's going to have a bigger season to us next season. So I'd rather him not sit on the bench on the England bench during the Euros, and he gets given a few minutes here and there, and then something goes wrong, and then he has to have to deal with the pressure if something goes wrong on his side. So no chance. I want him anywhere near Southgate's team. Nah.
Yeah, Daz is jumping in here. Mainoo has no ceiling, and for those, obviously, that's a massive compliment. Basically, he can go wherever he wants through the fucking ceiling. No England yet for his sake. Absolutely. I second that. I think we might all agree on that. But again, Phil comes in. Sorry, Masood, I'll get back to you. Keep him away for now. Media will ruin him if England have a poor performance. We've seen this all before. and players absolutely crumble. And likewise, if he doesn't perform himself, which is highly unlikely, but yeah, it is. We don't want this needless pressure on him. Sorry, Massey, go for it.
Exactly what Phil said is exactly what I mean, and it always happens at England international tournaments. That's a United player that always ends up getting flack. So not for him at his age. He's going to have plenty of tournaments to play going forward in his career. So I think he can sit at home and relax this summer.
I agree with
Jono.
I agree with what you guys have said. I wouldn't be surprised if he wouldn't mind if he picks his nationality, but I don't want him to be called up yet. So he can commit to being an England player if that's what he wants. And for the future, that midfield two of Bellingham and him, if they hit their ceiling, is going to be amazing. But not yet as a call up. Commit to England if that's what you want to commit as your nationality, but not be called up yet.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with, I think, parts of what everyone said there. I mean, we've all spoke about over the years, if you're good enough, you're old enough and all that. My concern is, especially the way football's gone now, these players are having to prepare for potentially, you're looking at minimum of 50 games a season. And for one, I fucking hate these internationals I know it's a tournament and all that. But players need a rest.
I think Bruno played like 62 last season.
You know, and the last thing you want to see is an 18-year-old or any player, for example, not just Mainoo, is, you know, that's why you get so many niggles these days, so many of these muscular injuries and so on like that. However, on the flip side, now he's got time on his side for this, and so have the other two people I'm about to mention. But I would fucking love to see a Declan Rice, Kobbie Mainoo, and a Jude Bellingham midfield. That would be fucking naughty.
I'm not, as an Irishman, I'm not fucking jealous at all about that shit. Hey, Massey, you jealous of that? Fucking hell.
Look, my team finished third in AFCON, so we're actually quite happy with what they did.
Yeah, congrats on that, by the way, bro.
They really well.
And just off topic, Ireland got put in the same group as England for the Nations League. Not that I fucking watch that bullshit, but still, it'll be a bit of banter between us. Jono's just after coming in there. Yeah, Mainoo was amazing. Yeah, he's just, we are blessed.
Yeah.
Last
so yeah, that's it, mate. So we'll I think we're all in agreement there. I think we need to give him time. Now,
hold the phone. Nothing stopping you supporting England, Kilo. Philo just, he must be drinking, bro. Yeah. As much as I'd love to, no. With all due respect, but I must say, it's very difficult. I find it very difficult to understand how you can't never win anything. And that's not a dig. It's just, you have so many good players. It's just insane. You guys know my thoughts on Gareth Southgate. Like,
I could do a podcast on my own about him. He's not the one, but we won't go.
I can tell you now, Jono, if you did a podcast about Gareth Southgate, I wouldn't listen.
I'd fucking switch out, bro. No, you've so much artillery there. It's incredible. Yeah. The attacking options. Anyway,
can I just throw a spanner in the works before we move on to the next topic? What if we get Klopp as England manager?
What if what?
Klopp as England manager, bro.
If Klopp goes as England manager,
no.
Won't be for this tournament. Obviously, it won't be for this tournament, but going forward.
No.
Not
Jose Mourinho.
I'm just being playing devil's advocate. If it's anyone else but Gareth Southgate or any English manager, if it's a foreign manager, I would put Kobbie Mainoo in that team. No worries.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. Now we're going to go through slightly off the pitch now a little bit. And we're going to talk about, again, we won't go too much into it because of it's purely speculation right now. But there's a lot of talk going on in the media, for example, with regards Old Trafford or whatever we potentially want to call a new stadium. Now, the four people we've got here, and I'm hoping people are going to get involved in the comments on this one as well. I'm going to come to Jono first, then I'm going to come to Masood. Now, the reason I'm going to come for Jono first is, Jono, as you've never been to Old Trafford, I want to know where your thoughts are with regards a renovation, a new stadium, and what it kind of means to you. What does Old Trafford mean to you, and what would you prefer? Now, guys, before Jono speaks, please don't come at him or anything like that. This is purely opinion pieces from us all. Everyone's going to be different. Everyone's going to have different meanings. Everyone's going to have different emotions tied to Old Trafford for whatever reason. So it's, Jono, I'm going to give you, minute or two, mate. Tell me how you feel about that.
It's the history for me. I see both sides of the argument. I've been quite neutral on this. I've said what I think on Spaces before on this. I see both sides of the argument. It's the history, and the amount of games, trophies we've won at Old Trafford. But I also see the side where it's been neglected for so long. My preference, if we can, is to refurbish Old Trafford. But I see from an outside, if say I wasn't a United fan coming into the project, I'd probably think a new stadium is more affordable long term for the club and a long term vision. If you went out from an outsider point of view, if you know what I mean. So if it was me, I'd refurbish Old Trafford if that's an option. But I don't know if that is an option to the point it's got now, because it's in very bad state, which is sad. It's just been neglected for years, which is very sad. So what I think will happen, I think it'll be the new stadium. I do, which is really sad.
Masood as well. I'm going to come to you now as well. So now, obviously, from conversations we've had, I know you've watched United in South Africa, but again, you've never watched us at Old Trafford. So what are your thoughts with regards, potential stadium talk?
Look, history is always going to play a part, and you're not going to, even if you build a new stadium, you're not going to get that atmosphere again. Everything changes. But with the world as it is today, and commercially, I mean, if you look at, I don't like to mention them, but the capacity was almost 60,000 for their game this weekend at Anfield. So commercially, if you move to a new stadium where it's 90,000, 100,000, it's basically money in the bank. And if you look what Spurs are doing at their new stadium, there's other activities that go on when the stadium is not used. So it's other commercial value that you're adding to the stadium. Now, if there's an option where we build a new stadium, because I mean, we've got a lot of land where Old Trafford is. So even if we build a new stadium, you're not moving anywhere. You're going to stay at the site. And if you sort of do what City have at their campus, where they have the main stadium and they have the smaller stadium for women's football and the academy football, and sort of like a fan park around it as well. Commercially, it's a gold mine for United. And if you look at the other clubs compared to United, we can just take it into another stratosphere with our fans, and everyone comments on how many visitors we get from overseas for day tripping at Old Trafford and stuff. If you got that as well, it adds commercially exponentially to United and going forward as well. And if you couple that with us being successful on the pitch going forward, it's a recipe for success in the long run. I mean, if you take something from the past as well, going back to after the Busby Bay when Bobby Charlton and Best and them played, they trained at the Cliff. And when they moved from the Cliff to Carrington, it was also the same argument that United fans had. Do we have to move from sort of like a hallowed piece of United history as well? Obviously, it's just a training venue, but I mean, you have to move with the times as well. We all love history, but you can't get stuck in the past. And for me, I think Old Trafford can't be renovated because the building itself has passed its shelf life. So you can't cut and paste and repair it as well, because there's a lot of things that you can't. It's going to cost you more money in the long run, redoing Old Trafford instead of building a new stadium, where it might just cost you a few $100 million more to build a new stadium than to renovate Old Trafford itself.
Yeah, no, well said, mate. Killian, I'm going to come to you. I know you said in the week there's not much you wanted to say about this one, so I'll come to you now before I finish on it.
Yeah. Before I kick off, actually, I have. So I don't know who Big Suze is, but where is the big Scottish lad? He's on the hop tonight, Big Suze. We couldn't get
You know
him
what? That's Daz's other account. I bet that's Daz's other account.
Bro, I tell you, here, Daz, you're looking well, bro. I wouldn't say no after a few scoops. No, here, listen. No, I have a little segment Daza wants to read. I'm going to read out for Daza just in respect to this. So Daza goes for, I love Old Trafford. Adamant until today that I wanted to stay. I would consider a new stadium, but there are loads of criteria for me to agree and be happy with it. Old Trafford is one of the last iconic stadiums left in the world. Bernabeu and Nou Camp have been extensively renovated. He took my fucking line, you prick, Daza.
Yeah.
They would never move. And that's what I was going to allude to before Daza robbed me story there. So he says, saying it's too much money or it's too hard isn't a good enough reason. And that's 100% correct. We are Manchester United. Biggest club in the world. Impossible made possible. 100% does it. He goes on to say, I stood on that terrace with 4 generations when it was worse than now. Must not move because something is hard. Impossible dream, baby. Look at the Nou Camp. It was fucked. They done it. The thought of not being in Old Trafford is absolutely heartbreaking. Does it? And I'll throw my 2 cents in here as well. 4 words. 4. Not a fucking hope. All I know is Old Trafford. Old Trafford is my gaff. It's my home. It's your home. It's our home. It's the theatre of the fucking dreams, lads. Renovate it to the fucking hilt, all right? Money's shouldn't be an option. Shouldn't be a stumbling block. No matter how much it costs, in my opinion. People's ashes have been scattered there. The memories. I don't want the Spurs-like modern stadium. Yeah, it looks great and the match day experience is fucking marvellous. I couldn't give 2 shits about none of that. Old Trafford is Old Trafford. The memories, honestly, and that I know Daz alluded to it, like generational. My grandfather was there, God rest him. Like we can't, just not for me. Not in a million years. Like the new stadiums look great, like the Spurs stadium looks great, but no, not in a million years. I want us to be at Old Trafford for my lifetime. I don't want to be alive. If it goes before I die, I won't be happy. I won't be happy. I actually want some of my ashes scattered there. And I've actually told my missus this, which she was more than willing to do. I think better start checking me dinners for poison. But no, not Old Trafford's Old Trafford. No, not for me. Not ever. Not now. Not ever. Benno.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of the same. I understand that, you know, football's changing commercially. Football's changing as well. Now, a new stadium, I'd rather not. I'd rather do what you can and make Old Trafford back, or turn Old Trafford to one of the best stadiums in England again. For me, it's one of the best football stadiums, not just a stadium as such. You know, you've got NFL coming over here now. You've got some of these big concerts, the boxing and stuff like that. What goes on inside those 4 walls? You know, you look back at the history of it, and you know, you've got the statues there, the tunnel in place, and I think still to this day you hear players and individuals saying that when I set foot in Old Trafford, I just got that buzz. I mean, I still get it when I go and watch now when I can. And I know there's certain people on this podcast right now who have never been, and they're going to be going at some point in the near future, and they're going to get that buzz. Now, what I would love to see is taking a little bit of what Masood was saying about this complex facility. For me, I would renovate Old Trafford, get it up to standard, turn it into a nice shiny stadium again. And then next to it, you then build a smaller stadium, and that becomes the women's stadium, the under-21 stadium, or the under-23, sorry. And you have that complex there. So you've almost effectively got a new Trafford, and then you might, an Old Trafford, and a new Trafford, or a Stretford End Stadium, or the Stretford End Arena, or something like that in the space. That, for me, would be my preference. But what do I know about business? If a new stadium gets built, am I going to be upset? No, of course not. Like, you want to see the best stadiums. You want the best in class for everything. But at the same time as well, Old Trafford means too much for me as a fan. So I don't know. I can see in the comments, Phil, who obviously couldn't be on tonight, but yeah, put a comment saying getting rid of Old Trafford would be a knife to the heart as well. And I know a lot of people that would feel like that. So I think it's going to be one of those where it's going to really cause not a divide amongst the fan base, but it's certainly going to be a very split opinions, I think, on what we feel this is going to do going forwards. Now, before we move on, has anybody got anything else they want to add on the stadium? John, I see you got a hand up.
I don't know if you guys saw Rio's video interview this week with the old CEO. If you've not missed David Gill, if you've not watched it, watch it. It was it's an amazing interview he did on his podcast this week. Check it out. But he
are you promoting another podcast on here, John?
You getting commission, bro.
But
Jono's going to be on 5 Alive soon, bro.
But David Gill made the point. Obviously, we've all talked about the leaking roof at Old Trafford over the last 3 or 4 years. He made the point that that's been like that since him and Fergie were at the club 14 years ago, which is proves how it's not being looked after from the current regime, and what also proves it. They were talking about European games in a few years' time, and Old Trafford got overlooked by the people in charge of building this World Cup bid or whatever it was, because they said that it's just not good enough.
But that's because the Glazers have neglected it for so fucking long. That's the only reason, because of those dickheads. Masood.
Yeah, so I was reading an article earlier this week. I'm not sure it was on the Athletic or something with regards to the stadium. And like I mentioned earlier, it's not that I don't want Old Trafford renovated. If it can be possible, it's possible. But the problem is the building itself is so old. It can't be modernized anymore to where we want it to be. So in what I'm saying is that you're going to throw money at something where in the long term it's going to cost you more going forward to then look after it more. Then
you're on about your overall maintenance. I mean, an option you've got is you build a temporary stadium where you potentially do well, and you basically knock Old Trafford down and build it back up from the foundations. That is an option you've got. For me, it has to be if they change a couple of the stands around, whatever, blah blah blah, fine. But it's inside those 4 walls. Has to be where we play our football. Yeah, that has to be. It can't be half a mile up the road.
Yeah. They even suggested while Old Trafford gets renovated or whatever, rebuilt or whatever, the new stadium, that we play in Wembley.
Yeah,
hang on.
3 words. Ask my bollocks.
Hang on. 3, 2, 1. Guarantee there's a comment going, well, most United fans are from London anyway, so it'll suit them.
No.
But nah, I think that was an interesting thing. Last couple of points before we go on, mate.
Where would you play? if they said that they need to knock part of Old Trafford down to start building a new one on, where would you play our games for us? Like, obviously, like Spurs did
the
play
Etihad, the Etihad, because at least we'll fill it.
Oh!
No,
No.
I don't know, mate. You know, you grounds locally. You've got the likes of Bolton.
What about Wigan?
Wigan, yeah.
The
Wigan.
JD.
I don't know what the regulations are with regards like capacities and so
Yeah,
forth.
listen,
like that.
fuck it. We'll go to Salford, bro. Salford City's ground.
Yeah, they're £5 at the gate.
Quality.
But yeah, so I just want to. We're going to obviously start to wrap up soon. So just going to kind of talk a little bit about the fixtures we've got in February. There's only 3 of them to come, so I think realistically we're looking at we've got Luton away, Fulham at home, and Notts Forest away in the FA Cup. You have to win all them games. Eric Ten Hag said in the week, every game's a cup final.
Yeah.
If you want to be, you know, what are we now? 5 points behind Villa in the league. I think if we want to keep up the table, these are the games you've got to win. There's no excuse. You've got to win them. And it'd be nice, you know, if we get a good FA Cup run at the end. We talked about this the other week, how a number of the big boys have been knocked out already. So there's a real opportunity for us to kick on with the FA Cup. And then finally, now there was talks in the week. Now, I don't know if any of you are aware of this, but it's actually the proposal has been delayed. But a blue card in football, a supposed 10-minute sin bin for dissent or the professional challenge or something like that. I mean, fuck me. I mean, what's the first thing you're going to do if you lose a player? You're going to fucking waste time. You're going to just piss about. You're not going to have a game of football. There's a thing we've got in football right now for when somebody does show dissent, so somebody does do a professional challenge. It's called a yellow card. Why the fuck would you bring a blue card into it? Killian, tell me. Like, answer that question for me, man.
Get fucked. Honestly, what's happening to football? They're killing football. They're killing the beauty and the passion and the madness of football. Do away with VAR. We've tried it. In my opinion, we've tried this now. It's fucking killing the fucking game. Matty Cash dived today in front of a fucking linesman. Casemiro got yellowed. It wasn't looked at. It was a disgusting, deceiving dive. Nowhere near Casemiro. What if that was a red card? VAR isn't doing fucking nothing for it, okay? No, get rid of technology. I said a while back, I said, if you're gonna go this route, you go the rugby route. And that's miking and videoing up everyone so there's no inch for corruption. This is benefiting the big teams, especially those live VAR cunts, Liverpool, that are getting every decision, and they got another one against Burnley. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of it. No, honestly, technology is ruining football. It's ruining sport to a certain degree. I don't want to see no blue cards, sin bin bullshit. I don't want to see no VAR bullshit. There's your Chase sit the fuck down moment for you. I
was literally about to say, come back to the room and answer the question about blue cards, but you've just hit it at the end there. Masood, Jono, go on, mate. Go on.
2 seconds.
Hang on, Masood. Hang on, mate.
We have Daza again. 2 seconds. We have Daza again. Simple. It can't happen. It'll ruin the game. Tacticians will be best. Will get best players who are getting tired to get a blue, to get a breather. They will ruin it. Stick it up your ass. Go on, Daza. Goal line technology is perfect. That's fair. Yeah, I agree with that. Offside should be Hawkeye like the World Cup. 110%. Benno Masood alluded to it within regards to cricket, even though I don't want to talk about cricket. But they're right. Like tennis and cricket, 2 seconds, boom, done. You have a margin for error. If it takes you to literally spend a minute and a half to look for an offside by a pubic hair, therefore it's not clear and obvious, you stick with your on-field decision. There you go. I mean, to be fair, Nerad in the comments, before we go to you, Masood, sorry, Nerad in the comments, he's put,
Yeah, we've just shared it up there. So, famous quote that Johan Cruyff once said: "More rules creates more cheats."
Did anyone see the Real Madrid game? They were home to someone. I can't remember who they were playing. They were 3-0 down or 3-1 down. Honestly, the only people who benefit this technology are the big teams. And if someone wants to correct me and tell me that these VARs, the VAR and all this technology isn't benefiting big teams and there isn't corruption involved, I ain't fucking buying any of that. It's just another tool for corruption, in my opinion. Let football be football. As frustrating as it was back before VAR, when referees would get things wrong and penalties were given and blah blah blah, I want that back. I'll take the hits on the wrong decisions for the passion and the energy, and like celebrating a player celebrating a goal and then getting it wiped off. All that energy, celebrating, and the passion and the ecstasy and the fans, and then for it to be chalked off. Nah, scrap it all, bro. Go back to real fucking football. Sorry, apologies.
Yeah, no worries, mate. You're all good. Masood, we're going to come to you, mate, and then we'll finish with Jono before we wrap up.
I was actually not too fussed about the blue cards. I mean, if I remember all the Spanish teams we played in the Champions League and all the flipping diving and stuff, if they got blue cards for that, we were playing against 10 men every 5 minutes.
But I'm gonna before you go though, I said this 5 minutes ago. But they should be getting a yellow. You've got a yellow card for that.
Yeah, but what
Why
I'm
do you need a
saying
blue
is,
card? You've got a yellow card for that.
You see the sunburn where I agreed with it in the sense that it will cut out the bullshit about like players play acting and shit. Like take a guy like Sergio Busquets, who's a wonderful player, but the amount of shit. I mean, the minute you just touch him, he goes on like a sniper and shot him. And if you give him a couple of times going to a sunburn, he'll cut that nonsense out of his game, and I guarantee you it will happen. And a lot of teams do that, where they, if you take someone like Fernandinho who played at City, the amount of professional fouls he used to do, if he used to get a couple of blue cards in a game, he wouldn't do it anymore. There's tactical fouling and stuff. So
but it's part of that's part of the game. These tactical fouls are part of the game.
Fair enough.
As a more sensible word, shithousery. Shithousery part of football.
I'm not saying you get rid of shithousery. Fair enough. But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is the same. The thing where corruption and what Kilo is saying is that take City and Fernandinho. If you take a player who does the same thing Fernandinho does in a smaller team, he always gets a yellow card for those tactical fouls, and has suspensions during the season, which City don't get, and it doesn't affect him. So it's a way of leveling things up. I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm just saying it was worth thinking about. Not to say that it was. It's only there for a professional game. It's not for amateur soccer. It's not for amateur football. It isn't for amateur. It's for professional games.
Phil, to be fair, has brought up a good comment here. So obviously, I think Killian brought up rugby before. So sin bins work well in rugby because the referees have respect and authority. Football referees don't. In all fairness, but some of the standard with the refereeing, it's understandable why they don't get respected. You don't often see a bad rugby referee, but you see a lot of bad football referees.
You still do. They come from Australia and New Zealand.
The South African man coming out there.
That's it. But Jono, I'm gonna come to you to finish here. Reason is because you've got a lovely brand new shirt on tonight, which I know you've been excited for. And the reason I'm going to let Jono finish off, for all the listeners that don't know, it was Jono's birthday yesterday as well. He's 17 now.
So why is the Peroni on the desk?
That's it. So Jono, give us a little bit on the blue card, mate. Minute or two, buddy, and then we're gonna get wrapped up.
I think, as Killian's and both you said, I think it's too much rules in football. It's just wrecking it. I think one team would be happy with it. City. There's another rule for them to break. But yeah, I don't agree with it. But on the quality of refs, I think it's a good point to end where also on that interview this week with Rio, he's talking. Remember the red card in the Champions League, Fergie's last season for Nani? He said that the following season in pre-season, Fergie was watching another pre-season game with this same ref, and he turned around, he called him and said, "He still can't ref." And apparently he knew straight away what he was talking about. But yeah, I don't agree with it. There's enough rules, and we don't need more rules for wrecking football.
Yeah.
Well said, mate. Well said. Julian, back to you, mate.
Yeah, so that's a wrap. For myself and Benno and Massey and Jono, love and respect to everyone that came in and tuned in to watch and listen to us. For now, it's good night and God bless, and we will see you next week, next
Thank you
Sunday
all.
for our
Cheers,
next
everyone.
session.
Come on, United.
Adios.
We're getting to
Cheers, cheers, boys.
Jono, doing the honors, bro.
Take it away.